Every morning, I wake with a tinge of disappointment. I'm not saying my life is a disappointment, or I'm jumping off the Goethals Bridge between meetings, or anything like that. But every morning for 32 years, I've woken with disappointment over my body. When I was 16, I'd stare at my protruding stomach, the sweat already starting at 7 a.m., and my dirty blonde Jewish curls. I did the same at 21 and 25, 28. I didn't think I could shave away my Jewishness and my insecurities by buzzing my curly locks, but I did not think it either. The decision came to me after being mistaken for Abraham on Fordham's campus. Who's Abraham? I have no idea. When I asked the student, she just said, "He looks like you." Stammering, schwitzing, a little paunchy. Was Abe also wearing an 80s Bob Dylan t-shirt, perhaps? Shortly after the Abraham incident, I was like Moses and parted the curls of my hair and shaved my head. "But your hair is your thing," my friend said with a buzzer humming in one hand and a PBR in the other. With each buzz, a piece of me floated away. Bzzz. Goodbye, complicated relationships with food and digestive issues. Bzzz. Sayonara, my mother's fear of choking on burgers, balloons, and saliva. Bzzz. Shalom to all of that. When my friend finished, I barely recognized myself. First, I didn't know that I had bumps on my head. Instinctively, I called my mom, and before I could get a word out, she asked, "What's wrong?" Now we were both terrified of the bumps. Our shared Jewish panic told us that, sure, on the one hand, it could be the natural shape of my skull, but far more likely it was a malignant tumor that spread to 3 different parts of my brain. Second, I couldn't tell if I was balding or not. Was my hairline always pushed back? They say your hairline can be linked to your maternal grandfather. Since I already informed my mom she'd have one fewer son in the very near future, I decided to ask my aunt about my grandfather's hairline. "What's it matter if he was bald? He owned a business," my aunt said. "He was a good man, depressed, sure, always disappointed too. Anyways, you shouldn't be worried about losing your hair. You should be worried about getting diabetes." That's what killed him. Not a widow's peak. He made your grandmother a widow. Third, I had a serious glower on my face. Gone was the open-armed invitation to kvetch about bowel troubles, good meals, or the minor annoyances fueling our days. Instead, I looked like I wanted to talk about lawn maintenance or golden retrievers. Over the next few years, I lived by the Garfunkel principle. Did I look like I could be a stand-in for Art Garfunkel? If so, parsley, sage, rosemary, and time for a buzz. It wasn't until later that I realized my hair was the only thing I truly ever loved about myself. After a lifetime of body hatred, my hair stood out on a body that wanted to fade in. My hair became a blanket I wanted to either wrap around myself or throw in the fire, or often do both at the same time. People envied, gushed, fawned over my hair, but when I tried to offer myself that same love and acceptance, I buzzed it away. I couldn't face my own face. With each buzz, I thought I was staring the world down and shouting, "What do you think of me now?" I was really only shouting at myself, of course. I woke up today without my morning disappointment. I've come to love my curls, my Jewishness, my body. I've even come to love the bumps on my head, which I make doctors check annually and thoroughly, just to be safe.